What's up? Happy Magmaversary. I gotta start my stream before midnight, so it's still Magmaversary. Or Sandwich Day, as it's also known now, apparently. Hi Fuki and Noel. Apparently my stream went down for a second, but I don't know what happened with that. I don't know why Facepalm guy didn't help me like he's supposed to. But yeah. I'm listening to Skitter's playlist while I do this little retrospective, and also while I play Demon Turf. Demanded for Magma Sandwich. Yeah. Let's switch to the other screen. I almost forgot to switch to the other screen. This might be embarrassing for both Cuddle and I, but fuck it. Bakudeku on main. Also, I was going to listen to the end of the song before I started, but then I thought it'd be funny just to stop it out of nowhere. Trying to get a good volume balance. I'm here! This is gonna be so embarrassing. Who cares? Fuck it. Y'all were gay. Let's go. Oh yeah, I should probably preface this for if you don't know before instead of just jumping in here. This is a post Cuddle, aka Deku, made, and the day that I was formed. Just rambling about that experience. I'm sorry, rambling sounds like a negative word, but you know. You know them. Gay bakudeku fog, yeah! Noel gets it. Okay. Some strong gotcha feelings today. Last night I closed, which is always stressful to me because I prefer just ringing people up at redemption or selling game cards. Oh yeah. This is when we worked at Round 1, which is a Japanese arcade, if you didn't know. Everyone's like, you sell game cards at Domino's? No, y'all know that we haven't been working in Domino's long. And we're not going to for long. Anyway, it's scary to have a lot of stuff you need to do to be able to lock up, and I can never move fast enough. I keep going back mentally to school, where I was always the slowest and could never feel adequate. I took forever filling the cranes, and by the time I was done, we had closed, and what I couldn't find was in a room the motion sensor light that turns off the time we close, so there was a bunch missing. Also, I kept wanting to ask my manager if I'm doing okay, which I wanted to do for months, and I kept chickening out, and every chance I missed made me choke up more, and I was crying a bit. When I finally was in my car, I'm sorry, the music is so funny in contrast. Maybe I need to, like, hang on, I think I should save, I think, I think I should save the Skitter playlist for Demon Turf and listen to the video game chill music. Usually I would prefer listening to the Skitter playlist, but it's so distracting. It's like, I was crying and I felt like I wasn't good enough. The music's like, let's drop the beat. Okay, let's see. Oh, that was so funny, it made me start crying a little bit. When I finally was in my car, I was sobbing super duper hard and noisy. Anyway, today I was scared to work after that. I thought anything could bring all that back, and I thought of putting myself in a place of a kin to help, which I often do. Think in their voice, imagine myself in their body, etc. It comes naturally if something triggered specific kin feelings or shifts, but a lot of times I don't have any in particular super strong feelings at one given point. So I just try to think of who I've been feeling most lately. So I thought, hey, Zuko might help since my mom and I have been rewatching My Hero Academia and all. I'm not sure why, but I thought of Kachan comforting me. I'm not sure why not All Might when he's usually who I'd go to for comfort like that, but then I thought more in depth how instantly he changed when he got his quirk. I wonder if it had some kind of evil power over him that he's not aware of. If not literally, at least metaphorically. It was extremely hurtful for who is my best friend to suddenly turn on me. And it just doesn't make sense. I really like to think there's hope for him to change. I'm sorry. It's just funny because this was before Cuddle even liked me as a character at all. Because we were like just barely touching season 2 at this point. And it's funny thinking that All Might used to be Cuddle's favorite, because like we like All Might, but he's got pushed down a lot because of all the happenings, all the new characters and everything. Like we like just have season 1 as a reference at this point. Anyway, I just kept thinking about the idea of him having to face that and really be able to realize what awful things he's... Man! This is just like guilt trip me in the stream, okay? What awful things he said and done. How he's really negatively impacted those around him. I think I have feelings now of memories or something similar to that. Something happened for him to see that. Or All Might was able to get through it. Like after the test where he and Ida had to pretend to be villains. It's interesting how he really thought I would have tricked him by pretending to not have a quirk. It seems like that could be a sign he actually struggles with insecurity. No! It deals with it in the exact opposite way I do. Not that it's okay to behave how he does, just that it seems that there would be hope for change there if he were able to reach out for help and recognize his need to become better. I also think people like those teachers, when we were kids, hyping up his quirk could have made the impression that he has to be the absolute best, or he will feel he's not good enough, which isn't true at all. All Might is great, but there's Area twice. Yeah, exactly. So from thinking of all this, I really felt him with me today. It was so nice. He's still kind of a jerk, but he corrects himself if he lets something too mean slip out. He's quieter, but still grumpy. But he's really trying, and it means so much to me. He really recognizes how much I missed when we were just kids, and that I have longed so much for those times again. And he's doing his best to get to that point. I think for the first time he actually wants to go back to that time we had too. And he kept encouraging me to not overthink or worry if I made a mistake. Hearing that from him snapped me out of any time I'd panic pretty quick. And sometimes he might try to lightly joke around to lighten the mood too. Maybe it'd sound a bit sarcastic or rude at times, but I either could tell he wasn't trying to actually be mean, or if I couldn't, he'd make sure I could, or correct himself. Also, he'd make sure that I understood that when he calls me Deku now, he's referring to my hero name, and not using it as the insult he used to mean it as. I remember that, like, always having to ask if that's okay. That's so funny, because that's just who Cuddle is to me. Again today, I wanted to try to ask how I'm doing to my manager. Both the amusement managers were here today, so I kept getting impulses to do it. And I didn't know which one to ask. One I feel more comfortable with, but he doesn't say as much to me, the other might give me more than an answer, but I wanted to ask the other one. I felt safer asking. So I kept chickening out again, and really feeling bad that I even went to ask at all when I shouldn't need the validation so badly, and Kachan kept nudging me to ask. I kept saying, like, if he walks over here, if he faces me, if he's not looking too busy, etc. And at one point they were both together and no one else was there. I thought they were too busy and I didn't interrupt, but Kachan helped convince me that this is literally the perfect time and I will probably never get a better moment than this. He was practically yelling at me, though not in an angry way. I knew it'd be stupid to pass it up, so I blurted out the question. He asked me to repeat it, and I said, am I doing okay, like in general? And he said, yeah, you're doing good. In that higher-pitched voice, like you're trying to comfort someone. And I actually did want to explain why I've been worrying about it. So both because of being anxious and not wanting to waste their time, I said super fast. Really? Because literally the day that we opened was when I got my diagnosis, and the neuropsychologist actually said that I probably won't do well here, and I think about that all the time. And the other one held out his hand for a high five, and I gave him a high five and said that now I'm gonna start crying again, and they went, aww, and they didn't. Now I actually am. Oops. I hope my brain won't try to convince me why that didn't count or something. But I haven't really had a super emotional experience like that with either of them like that. Just the two that left, so I think I'll be able to be more comfortable around them and not panic of making small mistakes all the time. I hope. Of course, I will always love All Might, and he's a hugely strong comfort to me, but this feeling of Kachan being like this is super nice in its own way. I can relate to him differently since he's my age, while All Might is more of an authority figure, and I do get much more comfortable around him. Meow. But he's still an older adult, kind of like if I get more comfortable around my managers, there's still a different dynamic than with my fellow coworkers. I'm pretty sure my mom actually made All Might my new fave, and this experience made Kachan a super close second. Damn. I'm just kidding. I'm their favorite now. And before I just sort of thought, oh, that'd be nice if he became a better and nicer person with me, but now we're my absolute major bro TP for the show, and now seeing Izuku/Kachan's VAs means even more to me than I ever thought it could. Saying all this is honestly pretty scary. I get worried it sounds dumb, and the same for any time I try to talk about any antagonist being changed or reformed, but really, I think that the impact of a character can have on someone, whether the reasons are canon or not, are more important than if someone makes a character seem too out of character. Some people can get too overprotective and police that a bit too much, in my opinion. And I want to try to keep that in mind, so I'm not always scared of any kind of backlash or something like that. Also, at this point, my mom and I are on Season 2, Episode 2, which means I've now seen the recap episode, meow, and Season 2, Episode 1 in the dub, which was the only part of the sub that I was able to get through when it originally came out, so now everything will be 100% new. I'm very excited. And after this experience, I am desperate for any sort of development. I'm desperate for any sort of development from Kachan. Oh, past cuddle. You are gonna have a good time. I know that no matter what, this meant the world to me, and it's okay to hold on to this idea. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny reading, like, a post from so early on in the show and being like, oh, I feel so bad to even consider that this character might be developed. Oh. Okay, and then this is a post that I wanted to read that took place in, I guess, June 2018, so like a couple months later, when we went to a convention where we met our voice actors. We've met them a few times now, but this was our first time meeting them. We actually got to talk to them because it was at a mixer, and also I think this was our first time staying in a hotel alone, like without our parents. So I'm curious how this post is gonna go. I think this one might even be more embarrassing because because we're talking back and forth to each other in this one. But let's go. Oh yeah, the italics is Cuddle, and the non-italics is me. So this nerd's still all flustered about talking about JFAX, so I offered to get it started for him. Here we go. So Grand Rapids is a bit under 2.5 hours away from us. Deku had to pee so bad, but we really put every detail of what happened in here. I was determined to make it all the way even though we had over an hour left to go because he was too nervous to pull over. Can you believe that? So, Cuddle uses they, them pronouns, but I think at the time, I think we had a thing where, like, if Cuddle was, like, or any of us, there weren't that many of us back then. It was just, like, me and Cuddle, really, at this point. Snuggle was there, but we thought Snuggle and Cuddle were the same person at this point. I blanked out on it. Oh, like, whenever we would, like, kin shift, we would use the pronouns of that kin, if that makes sense. So, like, if I'm talking about Cuddle as Deku, I would call them he, him, but no, we just kind of use our preferred pronouns, like, no matter the kin. We just, like, see the kin as having the same pronouns as us, usually. Anyway, back to the post. Suit me right, Magma. Did I read the paragraph? I think I did. He was too nervous to pull over. Can you believe that? Also, Cuddle is not, like, averse to he, him. It's just that they prefer they, them. So it's not like they don't mind me reading this post and not changing the pronouns. I'm just gonna, like, keep it the way it is. Kanchan! Okay, that's not entirely wrong. Actually, it's not wrong in the least. But it was also because I really didn't want to miss opening ceremonies, and we were running way behind, which is, again, your fault, nerd. I know, I never said it wasn't. Anyway, I'm really glad you got me to pull over, though. I really need to get better at taking care of myself. Plus, I was able to get chips and a drink, and I had no idea how hungry and thirsty I really was. I even felt really nervous if I should or not, since my mom's pretty good at getting junk food, which for the most part is a good idea, but sometimes it's okay. Once in a while, you know? It's so funny. Yeah, I know. You, on the other hand, gotta learn to make your own decisions for once. I know, and I'm getting a lot better with your help. Sure, no problem. But don't you think we gotta speed it up? When we haven't even gotten to getting there yet? It's gonna take a lot longer than I thought. Yeah, it really is. And I'm sorry to both you and anyone reading this in advance. I'm sorry to anyone reading this out loud on stream 5 years in the future almost. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I appreciate your help once again. By the way, it's probably obvious I'm in italics and Kanchan is not. I wasn't sure if I should use initials or something, but I didn't want this to seem like a roleplay. It's gonna seem like that no matter what the format, though. So hopefully when we get through this, if any of the nerds babbling on about me will make more sense or something. I hope so. Anyway. After we finally found how to get in, I found the garage okay, but I parked around back and didn't really know where to go. Yeah, it was hilarious. These two other chicks are kind of following Deku, who was trying to figure out where they were going. And after a minute go, oh, we were following you because you looked like you know where you were going. Deku never has a clue what's going on. Not the best choice of people to get directions from. Oof, well, you're certainly not wrong. It was pretty funny, really. And they were really nice, which made me feel a bit more comfortable. We walked around the building with them until we made it to the front, got our badges, and were able to make it to have the opening ceremony anyway. We did have to go back and pick up the VIP gift stuff, mainly the shirt. Which, of all conventions to have for, I'm so glad it'd be this one. I believe we had then a bit before Cliff Chapin's Q&A at this time. So that was when we went to the dealer's hall. And I got a couple wonderful fox friends. One from Creepy Kawaii. Not sure if this was... I'm sorry, Kawaii. I know kawaii is scary. So, what? Anyway, I'm not sure if this was really made by them since the tag had a different brand name, but they were being sold at their booth and I named mine Kit Kat. The other one I got from Tasty Peach Studios. I really loved their fox plush. I saw one that latched onto my heart since she reminded me of some of my kin, especially Monica and Fluttershy. I named her Peach because of the brand name and her colorings. So yeah, this is like proof. We thought Cuddle and Snuggle are the same person because Snuggle actually is the one that kins Monica and Fluttershy. Yeah. Even though the nerd already has a room full of plush, I gotta admit this one was pretty fitting, so why not? But then later, he asked me which fox I would have picked, as if I took the time to look him all over the same way he would. So the next day we happened to walk by there again, so it's the autograph area. It's in the same place, and of course I say the angry orange looking one is my favorite, and immediately Deku freaks out over it, claims he has to have this one now too. No plush is enough plush. I feel like right now where we're at, it's like the opposite. Back then, money was no object because we didn't live on our own, so we had no bills, but we had a limited amount of space. And now I feel like because we live on our own and have a walk-in closet, like, we pretty much don't have a space issue at all, but we just need to be wise with our money. But yeah. I like it this way better, because it's nice to, you know, I mean, we want to clean up our place more, but, like, it's nice to not have people, like, constantly be like, you know, whining at you to clean up or whatever, because it's not your home, but now it is. Anyway. Well, it looks like just like you in plush form, and I can't believe I didn't notice before. Yeah, well, I gotta admit, it was kind of flattering you'd spent money on it just because of that, but then I remember how plush obsessed you are, and it's really not that big of a deal. Oh, but he's extremely special to my heart in a unique way. So anyway, Deku said he wouldn't get it until the last day, so he has something to look forward to, so he won't be as sad when it's over. And the entire time he's trying to name it already. I tried to tell him he shouldn't, in case it's not there, and if he wanted it that much, you should just get it now, but nope. I was almost certain he would be there, and I was right, though. I just like having a name picked out ahead of time. But even after getting him, I still couldn't think of a name, and I asked Kacha, and right away he said Cobbler. Isn't that adorable? It's a pretty obvious one since you already named the other Peach, but I'm glad you like it so much. Oh, it's so good, though. We kind of got way ahead of ourselves. But anyway, we went to Cliff's Q&A panel, and then his autograph session. I got to give him my plushie of Kachan, and like you see in the picture with him, he put him on his shoulders, and it was really cute. Cliff's super laid back, though, so it wasn't that big of a reaction, and I was sure. It was just his personality that he usually doesn't get visually super excited by, but the tiny lingering doubt in the back of my mind was bugging me, and that made me feel rather selfish, but for the most part, I was just happy he seemed to like him. And I asked too if we could talk about Kachan more in the mixer, and he said he should be able to pop in for a few minutes, so I was a bit worried. I set myself up to look like someone who'd take up all his time blabbing on, which I really hope wouldn't be the case. Cuddle anxiety disorder moments. Oh yeah, we still have Cobbler and Peach. I should take a picture of them later. Anyway. Then we had a short amount of time before the next panel, so we found the rhythm game room. It was in the same building this year, which was so nice, so we could use any free time to play Poppin' instead of just sitting around waiting, since last year the games were way over in the hotel and it was pretty hot in that room too. And after we played for maybe an hour or so, we went to the superhero panel that had Justin Cliff and Zach Aguilar. Yeah, and guess who was hanging out at the panel table? That's right, plush me. Ha. The nerd was so worried his hard work didn't mean anything or something, and as soon as we walk in, Cliff's telling the story of getting it. And he said a friend just gave it to him too, so that's, so how's that for appreciating it? Pretty good if you ask me. Oh, well, I wasn't worried that it didn't mean anything, but yeah, I was really happily surprised to see that. It wasn't the first time it's happened where one of my plushies was brought with them.
I just noticed you talked about me. Justin, your friend.
Yeah! Justin Briner, is that you? Are you trapped in the computer? Shit. It wasn't the first time it's happened where one of my plushies was brought with them to their panel table like that, but I really didn't know he liked it that much to have it up there with him. And anyway, no matter how many times it happened, it'd still be a huge shock. I think Kachan was nudging me so much about that though. And later Justin Justin was talking about how much he appreciates seeing fan arts and how amazing it is to him seeing stuff like that, and Kachan was again nudging me so hard I swear if he was physically there I would have had sore ribs for days. Hey, someone's gonna find-
Help, I have been trapped by an administrator. I need your help. You must get a magical girl to free me.
I'll ask Snuggle, since thinking I, if I remember. Hey, someone's gonna find a way to get you to take the hint that your stuff is worth something, Deku. Thank you very much. So after that we played more Poppin' until about 12:30 a.m. I believe. You keep saying we like I was playing it too. Yeah, well you were still there and I really appreciate you watching. Well sure, it's fun watching you move your arms that fast like you're gonna break all your fingers again. Thanks, I think. But yeah, I'm actually very thankful this wasn't a 24/7 gaming room. Otherwise I'd probably end up being there without ever leaving. Well, not quite, but just about. Wouldn't doubt that one bit. So on our way to the hotel, we found a McDonald's and I got fries and a milkshake. I never get to go there and it was so good. And once again, the nerd was all worried he shouldn't be and stuff like that. But it's not like there's much better options for something quick. He'd probably burn it all off at the convention walking all over anyway. True. Well, when we got to the hotel, I maybe panicked a little since there was no one at the desk, and I was worried I wasn't allowed to check in anymore. I tried Googling it, and while I was looking for an answer, a lady came up and helped me check in. I think preparing really helps a lot. I'm so thankful my dad let me split costs of the hotel room for both nights. I'm not sure I would have done this otherwise, but maybe by next year I'll have saved more. If you don't go blowing everything you have on plushies, you mean? More or less, yes. But I'm really not that bad. The room was very nice. I was only there to sleep this time since I didn't have to wait on anyone at all. But I think having such a huge bed helped me relax enough to get to sleep right away. Not like my massages didn't help you either. Oh gosh, I remember this. Oh, this is gonna be embarrassing. They really did. It's kind of embarrassing to admit, but since Kachan can't actually do things like that, I listen to ASMR videos, and he follows along so that it can feel like he's really doing it. It helps me sleep so much, and I brought my fabric Bluetooth headband so I could use it in the hotel room. Oh, and the AC in the room was cranked way up. Seriously, I was freezing if I wasn't under the covers, but it was absolutely perfect that way. That's exactly why I love winter so much, or at least part of why. It's nice to be so cozy under blankets when it's so cold otherwise. Yeah, it was so cozy you overslept. Actually, that was because I might have forgot to turn on my alarm on. I set it, but I guess I didn't slide the switch to on. Oops. But it worked out really great, because even though we missed the hotel breakfast, we got to Denny's. We gotta go to Denny's. I'm pretty sure I've never been there. Or if I have, I don't remember. I got banana cream pancakes, which were absolutely amazing, and my waitress was so sweet, and I got to give a good tip, and it made her really happy. We ended up missing Colleen's autograph session, but I figured I'd get to give Momo to her later somehow still. Then we went to Justin's session. I gave him the deku I made, and asked if we could talk more at the mixer, and he's so sweet and bubbly. Gotta admit, it's weird seeing the two of them together. It's like someone cloned him. I mean, he's only got Deku's voice, but he is an awful lot just like him too, which he'd say a few times. Yeah, I think that's why I sort of felt like it was a lot easier talking with him, since I felt like he was a lot easier for me to personally relate to. Nothing against any of the other voice actors, of course. And I got to tell him that I got into My Hero Academia when I saw the post Mac made about a Dust alumni voicing Deku. And then I saw Mac as my All Might with voiceover, and he said Mac is natural at noticing talent and I should keep it up. That made me so happy, even though he hasn't heard any of my recordings yet. I hope maybe someday I could show him something. He still believes in me. So next we went to the My Hero Academia panel that had Justin, Cliff, and Colleen together. I really wanted to record this one to show my mom, and thankfully, because of being a VIP, I got to sit in the front row. Meow. After that, I asked Colleen if I could give something to her, and she said she's on her way to the booth and I could there. So she let me follow her, and I gave her Momo. Then we went to Cliff's session on ADR. It's always super interesting to me getting to hear that side of the business. And before it started, I got to talk with who was, I believe, his handler. She complimented my plushie of him that I had. And when I told her I just made the PJs, but I do make plushies, I think she asked if I made his plushie, and I said yes, and she got all excited and wanted to commission me. I haven't heard from her yet, but I got so flustered and excited just being able to give her my Tumblr. And we were right in front of Cliff's table too, and I'm not sure how much he heard, but he did compliment Kachan's PJs when I showed her the plushie. And during the panel, he mentioned effects to make mics sound different, like when a character's at a stadium or something, and recording with a mic like that. And I asked if Kachan's speech at the sports festival was really done with the same one or a different one, and he said it was all effects added on. He also said he had to re-record that line when it was used in flashbacks to sound a bit faster, which I had no idea. So I asked if the Stay Back Deku was redone, since I've heard it sounded angrier in Deku's flashback. And he said he didn't, but it could have been other things like music or effects that made it sound different if it did. It was nice asking things, even if it wasn't all that important to know. I usually don't ask things at Q&As, but that group was pretty small. I'm assuming since more people like hearing about VO than ADR, which I thought I'd feel the same. But again, I just love hearing everything about this incredible business. Wait, Deku, your nerd is showing again. I'm taking that as a compliment in this case. Whatever. By the way, if anyone's wondering how Deku can remember all the stuff, it's because he's got the con schedule up on another tab. Yeah, when I first would ramble on about conventions, I could remember everything perfectly, but things tend to get a bit jumbled in my mind when they happen. Plus, it's been a while since we went, since I took so long to start writing this. So next was Cliff's VIP autograph session. I'd already given him Kachan, but I came back because I would also like Bakugo and Kachan's PJ signed. He had mentioned naming a drawing of Kachan as a dog Bakugo though, so I quickly told him about getting her, and I'm glad he didn't think I was making that up and wasn't stealing from him. So then we got to go to Justin's Q&A. He's super sweet, and I really loved hearing him talk. I feel bad I don't have anything specific to say, really. You're dragging getting to the mixer out as long as you can, aren't you? Maybe. It is, after all, the reason I felt like I had to write about this convention in particular, and why I've been procrastinating about doing so, and why I'm worried that I won't be able to convey the sheer meaning of this entire weekend. That could have possibly changed my future, and you're still stalling here, Deku. Crap, you're right. Let's get to it then. The room the mixer was in was way in the basement of the convention hotel. I left early in case it'd be hard to find, and I'm glad I did because it was. But we made it right on time. Justin, Todd, and Zach were already there, but Justin was surrounded by the staff, so I couldn't really get much in. Todd was all alone with Zach, and I brought my tome poster to sign, but he didn't have a Sharpie. But he started talking to me, even though that's all I really had to ask, which made me really happy. It's not that I wouldn't want to talk to him, I just didn't have anything specific I felt I had to say, since I've already told him how important Death the Kid is to me at Youmacon before, so I didn't have something weighing heavily on me like I did with Justin and Cliff. So it kind of caught me off guard, him being the one to conversate with me. I thought conversate was a word. It's a red squiggly line under it. Does it mean it's not? It's not like things not being words have stopped you before. Why should it now? True. So, anyway, talking to Todd made you feel like he wasn't a voice actor at all. It gave me a sense of what this mixer is supposed to be. Just people hanging out together and having fun, talking like equals. I've never got to experience that outside of Mac. Not that I don't love you, Mac. He asked if I'm doing anything for the 4th, and I told him about California and gave him some advice about what to do. And he was warning about fighting the pirates to go to the beach. Silly. I said, oh no, I'm gonna die then, or something like that. And he said, no you won't. Well, with that attitude, you will. And he asked me if I'm always on time, because I was actually the only VIP there. Which surprised me, because I thought everyone around Justin were fans, not staff. But maybe they were both. And he asked if any knew of Zach's work. I felt bad, but I had to say that I had not heard him yet. But I have heard great things about One Punch Man, and I hope to watch it soon. And now I am. So now I can say that I have at least. And actually, I have heard him in SDS. I'm not sure what SDS is, but I forgot he was in that. I'm so sorry, Zach. Things being words doesn't matter. Things being names definitely matters, though. Yeah, anything can be a name. Man, this is so long, but I'm getting through it. I think I'm like over halfway, maybe. Probably, according to scroll bar. He understands, I'm sure. I would like to think so, but I still felt a bit bad. I almost forgot to say that Todd also gave me a coin that let me get a free drink. I don't drink, but I got a soda. I actually had already gotten one, but I didn't want it to go to waste. And the lady I got it from congratulated me, so maybe it was a pretty big deal? It felt like it, but I'm not really sure how it works. And then Chapin comes in and everyone floods in with them. That proves I have the better actor here. Kakachan, they're both incredible and they aren't some competition for us. I know that, I just like screwing around with you, nerd. Oh, right. So like he said, suddenly there was a lot more people. It was really less than it felt, but because the small room, I became quickly overwhelmed. I started to lose hope of being able to say what I wanted to. I tried to focus more on the fact that really there was maybe 2 or 3 at a time around them instead of how crowded the room in general felt. I just tried to stay focused on what I had to say and how important it was to me to say it. My legs felt very weak and shaky though, and I knew I would have trouble saying what I needed to and standing at the same time. So I tried mentioning that to them, and they seemed like they wanted to sit too, but they couldn't leave to sit right away. So I tried to just listen to them talking with others and still having a fun time. It was hard, I won't lie. I tried being patient, but socializing has always felt so impossible to me, and I wanted to cry. I really wanted to cry. Nothing new there. Hey, remember what Jason said? Yeah, that was probably one of my first words. I got into them. Cliff was talking about live tweeting My Hero Academia and mentioned how Lucy Christian roasted me by saying, take a shot every time Deku cries. And I just had to say, because it's true. I felt personally attacked by that tweet because of how strongly I relate to Deku, but then I thought, yeah, okay. And it made Justin laugh, and that made me really happy. Even though I was still very anxious and overstimulated, it made things feel a bit easier to handle somehow. Like, I felt like I at least wasn't being completely annoying or something. So later I asked about sitting down again. I kind of nervously just went, is it okay if we sit down? I kind of have some personal, dirty type stuff I'd like to talk about, and I'm not sure if I can standing up. Justin and Cliff sat down with me, but then a few people came and sat and said, so what are we talking about? And I really didn't want anyone else to hear for some reason. Not like it's secret or anything, but I have enough nervous issues telling them without being surrounded by a bunch of other people too. Then Justin was distracted by someone else and had to leave the table, and I thought, oh well, there went my chance out the window. But then the others that came and sat down started talking to each other, so I was able to talk to Cliff. At first I thought I was sure I wanted to talk to both of them at the same time, but it was so much easier and I think more personal to talk to them each one-on-one. That, and you were totally scared of Chapin. Oh, well, not scared, but like I said, I have trouble communicating with people who don't react very obviously. But then again, I have trouble communicating with people who react too much. Just in general, I suppose that I have trouble communicating with most anyone in general. But that's why I love talking with him so much. It made me realize more that you really can't assume what people are like by first glance. Not that I felt anything negative for him, of course, but I guess how he doesn't react too emotionally, maybe he reminded me a bit of my dad. I was, I think, worried of rambling on about how much Kachan means to me. It'd be really weird or annoying to him, so I made sure to say that I hope that's not the case. I told him how I first met him in person, how I was driving to work after a really hard night at work, and was really worried since I panicked and cried over not having the courage to ask how I was doing. And he appeared because I was just listening to a song I thought he'd like. I didn't want to go explaining about Desero and how I only listen to Poppin' now, but it was one of theirs, as I think I mentioned here before. Coward, not info dumping about Desero out of the blue. I told him that I am autistic and have anxiety disorder and identify with Deku and headcanon him as such too, and Kachan is such a help in dealing with both of those, and how strong he is and how, and he said motivated? And yes, I'm not sure if that's the word I wanted to say, but it may as well have been. And since I struggle so much with motivation, he means everything to me. And he looked very directly at me and asked what I do. Oh man. I wasn't sure if I should mention round one. I was talking about it earlier and wondered if he overheard, but I had the impression that's not what he meant. So I said, I want to be a voice actor. I rarely tell voice actors that because I know they get it from tons of people, and I often feel like it won't be important to them because of it, especially since anyone can say they want to but aren't willing to dedicate themselves to it. So he brought up how he remembered that I was in his Q&A, and he asked if I remembered him saying about that's how he can relate to Deku, by feeling annoyed if anyone tells him he can't do something, become a voice actor. And I said I first got to hear him say that in one of Curbifer's videos. Wait. Oh yeah! Curbifer did an interview with Cliff Chapin. For a second I was like, Cliff Chapin's not in Tome. I'm like, oh yeah, Curbifer makes more videos than just Tome. That's right. Although I think Cliff Chapin was like minor characters in the Tome game, but anyway. And then I brought up how much it hurt me when my dad said he can't see me being a voice actor. Not that it made me give up or anything, but it really broke me. And he mentioned something kind of similar that I don't think he'd want me to say publicly. Whoops. But it was so nice to get to share things like that with him. I also told him how much Kachan has helped when I have disagreements with him by saying, you put up with me all the time, so of course you can handle him. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Later he had to talk with someone else, but that was all I really had to say, and I'm so incredibly thankful for that conversation. I have to remember that as much as it might hurt to know that people close to you don't think you can accomplish your dreams, people you look up to have gone through the same in one way or another. So later, of course, I still wanted to talk to Justin, and a staff member asked if I was feeling okay. I was really worried. Any anxiety I felt was obvious, but maybe she was just really good at interpreting emotions. So I said yes, but I really want to talk to Justin. And she said, well, go for it. You're a VIP. You know what that means. And the guy with her goes, very important penguin. And we kind of kept being silly for a little bit with P words. But anyway, it encouraged me. I'm not a huge bother to ask to talk with him. And I did, and we got to sit down. I felt a bit scatterbrained because I wasn't sure if it happened, and I felt like everything left my mind I wanted to say. But I told him what I told to Cliff about how Kachan and I met again, and said something like, I think I had more to say about Deku specifically. And he said, well, it is in a way still about him since his relationships are important to you. And they said how he's always still with me, and he asked if he sits on my shoulder. I said, well, he's usually just beside me. The shoulder thing is so cute, but he's a bit big for that unless it was a tiny Kachan. But I don't think he'd like being tiny very much. And I said he's sitting right here, actually, and he was. And Justin said, oh, hi there. Kachan said, hi, loser. And I wasn't sure if I should tell him, since it's a bit mean, but I thought surely he'd understand he's just playing around, right? And I told him quietly, and he said, fair enough, and left. And then for days, and still now sometimes, when a Kachan would tease me, I just go, fair enough, out of habit, I think. I think we still reference that sometimes. Small Magma. And I got to tell him a bit about Tome and about a project that I was able to be invited to audition for, and how I didn't care that I didn't get it, nor was I expecting to, but I was just so happy that I got the chance and was trusted with that opportunity to try. And he said that's exactly the right mindset to have, and it reminded me that that's the exact mindset I always had going into auditions, and it made me feel like I was doing something right. And I told him that even if I don't get the role, I have so much fun getting the opportunity to play around with different types of characters for a bit, and he agreed. And I remembered how he said he liked seeing fan art, so I showed him the sketch of Kachan and I hugging and crying, and he liked it a lot and went, aww. I tried to get my mom to meet him via FaceTime, but the connection was awful down there, but one day I hope she can meet him, since she really wanted to. I think she did get to meet him. Yeah. Alright, I've been quiet to not distract Deku from all that since he's gotta get to bed at a reasonable time for once. I kinda just gave up with trying to do that, obviously. But guess what? He got us lost after that. Not really a surprise considering how huge that hotel is and how clueless Deku is, but guess how he got us out of there? I bring this up a lot. His sense of smell, like a dog or something. And here I thought he was such a cat person. I mean, cats have a good sense of smell too, right? Maybe not as good as a dog, but yeah, he recognized the perfume in the main area and sniffed us out. It was really something. Oh, thank you. It was weird for me to do, especially considering I usually can't smell well at all, but that perfume smelled so good, and so, anyway. What were you going to say? Hello? Something you don't want me to know? Anyway, after we played more Papa and went to McDonald's again, I got fries and a caramel sundae this time. We went to bed and then almost overslept. I woke up, picked up the phone to check the time, and the alarm was going off, and I didn't know because of how loud the AC was and how quiet the alarm was. But anyway, we woke up in time for the hotel breakfast this time, and it was really good. And we had to pack up and check out, which was really sad, but I tried to focus on what we had left to do for the day. First, I believe we picked out Cobbler, since he was still there, as we said before. Then we went to Todd's show and tell panel, which was really neat. He showed us a Destiny trailer he was in, and a video he did of the top stupid anime protagonists, and videos of people doing stupid stuff. Oh, and clips from a Star Trek web show he's in. I want to see that now, since I don't usually get to see voice actors doing camera work, but it was really nice and laid-back panel of him just showing you YouTube videos and stuff. Doggo, but also Cattle Cuddle is cat talk for me. Then it was the VIP signing for Justin. I wanted him to sign WoW, Deku's PJs. Oh yeah, WoW is like a dog purse that we had. We bought a couple dogs and we named them Bow and Wow. Deku's PJs, and I wanted to show him the art of Kachan and I kissing each other on the cheek. I told him about it, and I also told him and Cliff that I ship it platonically, so miraculously, I wasn't too nervous about it. I wasn't able to show him before because of the bad reception and I didn't have it downloaded, so I looked forward to getting to. I also showed him aggressively protective / supported Kachan of autistic Deku. Forgot to mention that I also told him about me being autistic and having anxiety disorder and seeing Deku that way too. The second panel of that comic made him go, yes! And it made me really happy. Then I got to go to a panel where Todd was basically interviewing Zach and Cliff. It was nice because he could ask them really good questions about the business and their experiences, so that it was focused a lot more on that stuff than a normal Q&A. It was also really nice having Todd tell Zach that even though you're always told that you need to jump at every chance you get because otherwise you're broke, you need to take care of your own health too. That's really important. I feel like so many voice actors, I guess maybe this is just a human thing, but I feel like so many voice actors like sound like they're pushing one extreme or another. Like either telling you that you need to take every opportunity or else you won't make it, or like, it's fine, you know, just whatever. It's like, you kind of need to do like a little bit of both. But anyway, we went to Todd's VIP signing after that, so I could get my Tome poster signed. And I'm really thankful he did not have a Sharpie before, because I was able to tell him how grateful I was that he talked to me and made it so that I could be a lot less nervous than I would have been otherwise. After that, we tried going to Zach's panel on online voiceover, but his slides were already through, but it was only half done, so I basically got to be at a Q&A for him, while getting to hear a few things back that were covered. Then we went to the costume contest and closing ceremonies. It was the only thing open at that point since everything was closing down. It was really sad to see. But during closing ceremonies, they did a game where you can find a rare item that they call out and stand up with it as fast as you can. I only had the items a couple times, but I'm way too slow to make it. Seriously, how can your brain function that fast to decipher words at all? It was really incredible to watch. We would do a game at school like that. It was kind of nice to be able to play it again, even though I was more watching than playing. Just then, like, they also had you choose between doors, though, like a game show, and both doors were silly drawings, where they made door puns on silly memes and anime. It made me laugh a lot, and it was nice being able to laugh when it was all about over. We went to Starbucks after to get something to eat / drink really quick, and instantly I started crying, of course. Thankfully it wasn't until I was back in the car. I was trying my best to hold it in at the store, and I'm glad I could. So, Kachan and I were kind of talking about specifically why I was crying, because I didn't feel like I should be crying if it's over, since there's still Anime Expo very soon at that point. And I discovered by talking with him that I was crying because I felt so disappointed with myself for slacking off on voiceover so much. Always when I go to conventions, I feel very inspired to get seriously back at it, and just fall away yet again. But this time felt different somehow. I think for a few reasons. One is, of course, that talking with Justin Cliff about voiceover made me realize how passionate I really am about it inside. Another is that I think I'm so self-conscious about a lot when I record, mainly if others can hear me, and if I'm being disrupting by leaving the room when I shouldn't. And going to this convention, the first time I'm staying somewhere alone, made me feel more like my own person. And then I need to do what I know I need to be doing, without worrying if it's bothering anyone, or something silly like that. But then I thought about how I watched a certain anime before leaving. Oh fuck, I remember this. And in the episode I watched before I left, the character I most related to lost her voice, seemingly forever. And it was her dream to be a singer. Seeing that played out the way it was made me realize how fortunate I am to be able to do what I love. I have nothing holding me back at all except for myself. Ooh, stretch. I don't know if I should say the name of what anime that is, because I guess that's like big spoilers. Unless, I don't know. You want me to? So everything just hit me really hard, and I may have raised my voice, my voice at Kanchan, I bet, but for good reason. I begged him, please, please don't let me, crap, I'm crying again now, don't let me slack off ever again. I want to be recording every night that I can like I used to, before the depression and anxiety hit like never before. I need to go back to 2014, when I was completely new to the online voice world, and I took full advantage over every single opportunity I could find, and I would check every site every day for every new post. I realized how committed I was before I began to change, and it hurt so much, but he asked me if this is what I really want, and of course, sobbing, I answered, more than anything. Well, after we got back, I wanted to, but I got a cold, and then we had our trip. But the whole time, through the couple weeks until all that was over, Kanchan would remind me multiple times a day that we're getting back to it, and he was going to give me the kick in the pants I needed, as he kept saying. Well, now for the past 2 weeks, we're really doing it. Every day at 8 p.m. we get in there and record, unless I'm working, but about 5 days a week. And I was already so incredibly grateful to him being here by my side, but now more than ever before, because now he's not just here to talk to when I'm upset, which I of course appreciate too, but that stuff I feel without him, I'd eventually calm down and be okay again. Maybe not as quickly, but still. But with our agreement for recording regularly, I just really don't feel like I could do it without him. Maybe one day I'd be able to force myself to stop this awful habit to procrastinate, but yeah, whatever, Deku, this is all you, alright? I'm glad I can help, I guess, but it's not like I'm forcing you to do anything. I couldn't do that if I wanted to, you know? Oh, we're finally almost to the end. That was so long. That's kind of you, but I swear you are exactly what I have needed all this time. I really don't know how I could ever begin to repay you. I already told you that I like listening to your acting, got it. If I didn't give you that push you want so badly, how am I gonna get you to do that then? Well still, I suppose I can't argue with that. Thank you. And thank you for getting this far, if anyone is still reading this. You're welcome. I suppose that's the end then. Oh, I forgot one small thing. Well, today I kind of had a mini mental health spiral. And it just felt like it did when I was at the worst of my fear of being forgotten and unlovable. It felt like I wasn't making any progress at all, perhaps. But I had to go to the store and Kanchan was there. I forgot to mention that ever since JFX, he's been by my side all the time, except the bathroom. But that's literally it. No, I'm there too. Hi. Talking to Justin and Cliff about him made me feel like it's nothing to be embarrassed over, or something I need to stop pretending. So he's just not, so he's not just with me when I need someone to talk to go through all of life with together. This is so sappy, but it's sweet though. Anyway, I bought an orange kitty today, and I wanted to name her after Kanchan. It's already named my squishy Katsuki. Tried to think of something else and thought of Victory, because that's what he means to me. Oh! I think I know what cat this is talking about, and I think we forgot that we named the cat that. But I wanted to pass out because I'm not feeling very well, so I didn't feel victorious at all. But Kanchan told me that victory isn't about being perfect, it's about pushing past the obstacles in your way and achieving your goals. And I recorded again tonight, despite all that I was feeling today, so even though I don't feel like it at times, every day I could achieve victory with Kanchan by my side. Okay, now I'm truly done, I think. You think? Well, there's the tags. I guess that it only took about 5 hours, Deku. Crap, it really has been that long. But I'm really glad I'm finally done, and typing this out was a very good and refreshing experience. Yeah, well, guess who's gonna open tomorrow morning? Alright, you do. Alright, well, good night. Thank you again so much. Woohoo, I got through it. Demon Turf time, finally. I'm glad I went through that. I probably won't go through that like every year, but maybe like every 5 years. I don't know. 5 years feels like a good what I want to say, good milestone. Anyway, I'm playing Skitter's playlist now. And Demon Turfic, wow, that took a lot out of me. It was nice to be here for it. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. It's crazy to like, I mean, it's like, I feel like we've changed a lot and yet not that much. It's funny. I'm glad you enjoyed story time. Wow, I feel like lightheaded. That was a lot of reading. And it was kind of emotional too, but I'm glad. Let's go! Into the light. Sorry. So I have beat the tower before, but off stream. I'm gonna beat it on stream tonight. I want to prove myself. Rages. Sorry. I'm assuming that's supposed to be rages. Is that how you spell rages? I forgot if I was gonna say anything else. Oh yeah, I gotta turn the music off. I don't know. I think words just look weird after looking at words for too long. Yeah, we had the music like, where'd it change? We had the music off, but then we turned it back on when we got like to the top of the tower because we didn't know. Rage. Who? I feel like we were, like, I don't know how to describe it, because there's a lot more of us now than there was. I feel like we're, like, more chill than we were. It's like when we thought we were the only ones, it was like... I mean, I think, my anger wasn't that big of a problem compared to, like, the anime. But I think I did, like, sound meaner than I meant it to a lot of times. And obviously Cuddle was a lot more anxious back then. No chill. We're not allowed to be chill. Oh, whoops! Ah! Fuck! Yeah, I wanted to practice the tower, but I didn't get a chance to, so fuck it. But I have this, this fairy thing, this blue thing, that you get around floor 25, I think. That makes it so much easier, because it's a free hit, and after 5 minutes it respawns. So, I don't know if anyone has watched, like, my my recording attempts, but I would just like wait for it to respawn for 5 minutes, which I will do, but this is so early on. I'm just gonna let it respawn after 5 minutes without waiting for it, because I don't think I should have a problem. If I die, I'm gonna be so mad at myself. But yeah, when we beat the tower, it had taken us like an hour and 27 minutes, I think, because of all the waiting. But someone else beat it in like 4.5 hours. I feel better knowing that. And there were a couple of attempts I did that were like 5.5 hours, so I'm kind of glad those attempts didn't pan out, because that would put me at the slowest. And I don't want that reputation. Although I thought it was sweet that creator Fabraz like tweeted like a screenshot of the person who had the slowest time and said something like, "Whoa, imagining enduring the tower for 4.5 hours." I thought that's a cute, like a kind way to look at that. Like, instead of, "Whoa, cringe idiot, the slowest of everyone that beat the tower." Like, "Whoa, you survived that long? And you just kept going?" I thought that was sweet. A big part of why I wanted to beat the tower on stream isn't just to prove myself, it's also to make people feel better, I guess. Or, I don't even know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but like, to make the tower look doable, because it really is. Like, it seems so impossible at first, but like once you get that fairy, it's so much easier because you can just keep getting hit and waiting for it to respawn. And also, the floors themselves feel so much easier. When you have to do them over and over again, they start to feel like nothing, because it's all about like muscle memory and shit. So once you get the muscle memory, it's like, it comes very naturally. You keep going, "What's wrong with you? Who did this to hurt you?" Wait, when? I don't remember what that's a reference to, what I said. The chat delay. But also, like, brain delay. Ah. Fuck! It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yes! You talking about the creator of the tower, talking about people enduring the— oh yeah. You kept going. What's wrong with you? Oh, this is my favorite pop and music song. Ah, shit. We beat this song on, I think we might have posted that on Twitter. We beat this song on Hyper. We beat every Roku song on Hyper now. Now we just gotta beat every Roku song on EX. One day. Oh, the fairy's back. I don't know how long it's been back, but I just noticed. Taburi wants to annoy you like Navi and Zelda. Does Navi and Zelda, is Navi like a tutorial character or something? So I think I've heard people are annoyed with Navi, but I have not touched a Zelda game before. Ah, fuck. Okay, I'm good. No. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Check this out. Yeah. I actually don't know what the hook shot and glide buttons are with this controller. But I'll find out when I need to, I guess. Like right now. Okay, that's hook shot. Ah, come on. I hate you, bar. Okay. Oh yeah, also when we beat the tower, or when I beat the tower, our Steam name was set to Skitter the Critter, so Skitter got credit for beating the tower. So I changed my Steam name to Magma from Zephyr Together, so that there will be no mistaking. So I'm also kind of hoping I'm kind of hoping to beat my time from before, so that I have the better time between the two. Skitter beat the tower. No, that was me. I promise, Fabres. Ah, fuck. Okay. It's the fairy in Zelda games that says, "Hey, look, listen. Come Navi is a navigational fairy." Yeah. I knew who Navi was, but that's funny. They spam. Hey, look, listen. Oh, fuck. That's okay. Magma the critter. What word? Are there any words that rhyme with magma? I don't think so. Like, pseudo rhyme. Oh yeah, I was trying to think of I was trying to think of words that rhyme with magma, and I thought of flagma. Then I realized you regain your flag ability too, and I forgot I could have been putting that. Magma the stigma. If you so the way the flag works in the tower, well, there's always like two ability choices you get to choose from. This song's really loud, but that's okay. So I don't know what the other one was, but the one we picked is like, you get one flag, but you can keep setting it a unlimited number of times, but you can only revive once. But it does help to have that security. Why wouldn't it let me set it here? What the fuck? Whatever. Oh yeah, I'm so glad for hookshot. Still gotta deal with the shapes a little bit, but not as much as without the hookshot. Oh, come, come, oh, come, come, oh, come, come. Oh, come, oh, come. I gotta figure out what button is glide eventually. Ah, fuck. Okay, I'm good. No! Oh, come. I'll experiment in this room. Is it this button? Yes, it is. Okay. Oh yeah, this is where we start using the glide. The glide's weird in the tower. What? I gotta practice with it, actually. You gotta, like, glide from the floor. You would think you'd get more air if you jump and then do it, but you glide from the floor, and then you jump at a specific frame, like, animation. Like, after she's not the bird anymore, you jump. Okay, that's not as bad as I remember. I remember it took me a long time to get used to that. Oh, I should have probably glided. I'm okay. Yeah. Ah! Ah! It's fine. The evil killer circle. I think floor 17. I think that was like the highest floor. No wait, I made it to 20 on stream. I just couldn't beat 20. That's right. Also, I just remembered I don't want to be in here actually. So I figured out a skip that I like to do. That's not how you do it. Hang on. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. The zone that makes you really fast. That's so funny. When you're in this bubble, you go really fast. Man, I can't believe I streamed. I streamed for like, was it like 4 or 5 hours? Like it had to be at least 4 hours, right? I think it was like 5.5 hours, and I couldn't even make a best flare 20. And now it's just been not even 20 minutes, and I'm on 23. And I'm just chill. I'm so happy with the improvement. It's like, it's almost like relaxing to do the tower now. I would never think that it would come to that. Oh, whoop. Shit. This might be my favorite floor. I just love these fucked up portal things. They're not even portals, they just look like portals, but bounce pad? They're not a bounce pad. Well, I guess that one kind of is. But only because of the way it's facing. Gotten strong after the adorable reading. Oh, I'm glad you like it. The journey back to 2018. Oh no! Shit! Shit! I'm gonna wait here. I'm just gonna chill out here for 5 minutes. Use the cheat. So, what's new? Slurp. Let me go grab, sewing kit. 1 second. Yeah, casually work on a plush commission during my own stream. I guess we do that all the time when we do watch party streams. Faybot? I got back in time for Faybot. You could put a pic of Clobber and Pete. Oh, yeah. I mean, Cobbler, but yeah, I get you. Yeah, maybe I'll go find him. I don't have a picture, but I can find him. Or, wait. Not to be lazy, but I want to see if I can just find, like, a picture of the same type of plush. Does Tasty Peach Studios have a website? Or, like, pictures of their boxes? They do have a website. I don't know if they still have the... Oh, they do! Oh, I found Cobbler. Let's see if I can find Peach. I don't know if I can find Peach. That's so... Cobbler's like the only fox on their website. What the fuck? Why do they not have any of the... Does that mean that the one that I picked out? Oh! Oh my gosh, someone's selling both of them together on Mercari. This is, not my picture, but it's the same plushies. Cobbler and Peach. Love these guys. You can have them for $120. I think I saw Cobbler on Tasty Peach's website was like $50 though. But yeah, I did not mean to show a Discord. It's a ransom note. They've been kidnapped and demand 120 to get them back. Oh no! I'm pretty sure our Peach and Cobbler are, like, under our bed towards, like, the head end of our bed because we tried to put them on the little shelf bookcase headboard thing, and our cats like to knock everything on that over. We're not allowed to have anything on our shelf, I guess. We have other shelves that they don't bother, but that one. Yeah, it's back. Okay, I'm gonna try not to get hit by this thing again. Yeah. Oh, the fairy. I was waiting 5 minutes for my little fairy friend to respawn. Oh yeah, flag, thank you. I will win. At a safer place. Okay. Kind of like trying to put it like at the beginning of every floor. Oh. Ah, fuck! Ah, whatever. It's fine. It's like... It's disappointing when you fall, but it's like... You're still fine. You just gotta redo, like, half a floor, it's fine. It's not like you just died. I didn't even get hit, I just fell a little bit. It's fine. Ah! It's fine. Okay. This rotating pizza ass platform.
This looks like a good spot.
Whoop. Ah, no, fuck! I wanna get to the next floor. I'm like right at the end. Oh, I should actually wait at the end of it, because there were all those balls flying. I'm safer here. Gotta wait another 5 minutes, fine. It's not cheating, it's part of the game. Part of the tech. have a Sharpie. Oh, there. Yeah. I'm making a Bug Fables OC commission. It's pretty cute. Hi, Colorful Cast. Yeah. I'm waiting for my little fairy to respawn. This little fairy thing here. Is like a free hit. And it already took the hit, so that's why it's tiny. And it respawns every 5 minutes. So I'm just chilling for a little bit. I haven't died yet, and I don't plan on it. I mean, nobody ever plans to die. Well, I guess some people do, but we won't get into that. Sorry. You ever say something and then immediately regret everything? Anyway. How are y'all? I look like I'm asleep, but I'm drawing the arm of this plushie while I'm waiting. I'm just lost in thought and story. Lost in bakudeku thoughts. From what Noelle posted in Dumping Information Channel, I understand you've been talking about the history of you and your headmates. Yeah, or at least like the history of me and Cuddle. Wait, what is in Dumping? I gotta... Oh, I gotta watch that clip. I'm curious. Wait, how long is it? Maybe I could... Oh, it's 4 minutes. Maybe next time I get hit. No, wait, is that TOS or whatever? Doctor Who? If it's just a 4-minute clip? Probably. Maybe I should just watch it on stream. We've seen, the episodes of 9th Doctor and maybe, like, 3/4 or so of 10th Doctor. Oh, it's back. Oh, I hope you enjoy that. It was wild going back to 2018 for a bit. I read a post that Cuddle made the day I was born, and then I read a post that both of us made together that was reflecting a convention that we went to. That was wild. Whoa, that was really close. Or at least it felt close. Maybe it looked closer than what it was. No! Ah, fuck! No! Why'd I do that? Fuck. Okay. I'm not gonna take any more chances. I am going to let the fairy respawn. And I have no flag now. Fuck. I should have waited, but I didn't want to. At least not that. I mean, to be fair, I guess I wasn't really at a good spot for waiting. Oh yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that's TOS. I think I have to watch it on my own time. Like, copyright shit and all that. Scoopy. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that, that wasn't my fault. I mean, me dying was my fault, but I was not being impulsive by not waiting, because I couldn't. But yeah, you get one free death. I don't think I said that, at least since CC's been here. You get one free death and endless free hits, but you just gotta wait the 5 minutes for your fairy to respawn. Hopefully I can last longer next time. Ziz. Aw, Scoopy laying down in the pile of material. Scoopy wants to be a commission. What character do you want me to make your fur into? Looks like he's thinking about it. Beeb's just on her phone waiting for the fairy to respawn. On her commission, one of my favorite is the furry adjacent friend Scoopy. Oh. I just had a thought. I think it said on stream before we were like talking about the aspect of like has a system, like has a pet died and like became a headmate in a system, and I think Eel said that happened for them. I feel like that would probably happen for us. 'Cause I feel like we're too attached to Scooper to like accept that. Not to be like sad, but like I feel like it would be a lot less sad. Or maybe it'd be worse. I think it would be less sad. Like we made like an OC when our dog died and it made it less sad somehow. Cosplay cat dressing up like this and that. Have you seen the cosplay cat Tumblr account? They had a Deku cosplay, it was pretty good. They have a lot of good cosplays, but that's probably my favorite, but I'm biased.
That thing is massive!
Fuck. Fuck! I swear I'm good at the tower. That thing is massive. I should not have glided. Whatever. Hello, Ellie. Ah. I'm fine. No! It's fine. I think I can easily get to the door that it came out of. If I'm able to stay on the shape and like look around. Yeah, here it is. Back on the floor that I died at. Ah! No! Why is the depth perception so bad for me right there? I don't think I had a problem with that before. Okay, I'm gonna wait here. Not make the same mistake. Scoopy. What's up, buddy? You hanging out? I think it's so funny though that Beeb's idle animation it really looks like she knows. And she like glanced up at the fairy. I know that's just a coincidence because she does that before the Tower DLC came out, but it looks like she's like, is it back yet? No? Fine. I'm gonna play more Brawl Stars. I could also be playing Brawl Stars actually. I could not only play it like for myself to pass time, I could play it on stream to pass time, but I mean I could, but I'd have to like I'd have to mute the music. I feel like that would be boring for y'all, cause I'm pretty sure I can't show that on stream, so I could watch it, but you guys couldn't watch it, you couldn't listen to anything. Mute the tab. Well, like, I don't have my audio track separated. But, wait, are you saying to watch it muted? Watch the video muted? I think I want to hear it, right? Yeah, I can, like, all desktop audio comes through the same channel. For a second, I thought it was back. I don't know why. I think it's because I. Oh, there it is. That's funny. I was like psychic for a second. Okay. There we go. Oh, fuck. Pog. Scoopy. What? Okay. Whoops. Fuck. It's fine. Ah! Woohoo. Hey, Fabo! Thank you. was celebrating.
That thing is massive!
That thing is massive. I was celebrating by reading a couple posts from 2018. From when I first formed, that was a interesting journey. Ah! Okay. No, wait, I'm fine. I'm getting high with these shrooms. Oh, whoops! Wrong button. What's up, Magma? The answer is Magma. We're mixy bit of Tabby and Vivian and a sleepy Fava. Oh. Wait, did YouTube pause the music again? I hate it when it does that. I'm surprised, actually. That's the first time that happened. So it must do it every hour? It feels like it does it a lot longer, or a lot more often. That's what I meant to say. These fucking balls. That's okay. I mean, if I went for it, I would regret it, so whatever. Yeah! No more balls! Only cylinders. Oh wait, that's fine. Wait. Oh right, I do this. Oh, but I thought I got to the top. There was a little more. Coconutting. Wait, I gotta catch up. I never responded to double Vivian the back rules. I'm mostly up front now. Bells is also here, but very nervous for a meeting later. Aww. Yeah, maybe if you see me beat the tower, you'll be like, whoa, maybe I can beat the meeting the same way. By climbing to the top of it. And then falling back down. I don't know if you know that once you get to the top of the tower, you have to fall back down. It's so funny how they do that. I love it though, because it like forces you to appreciate all the progress you made. Because it's like it feels like longer of a fall than you'd think it would be. I don't know. Oh, fuck! Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go in my little room here and wait. Is this, yeah, Demon King's here. Deku-kin's this character, so we're just being gay in the pool. Love a good emotional support demon. I try to be that. Also, yo, only 10 floors left. I think, in my mind, or in my opinion, the hardest part of the whole thing, the whole tower, is at the beginning of the next floor, but you can, like, skip it. The reason it's the hardest is because there's, like, these slamming doors, and it's, like, the hardest to get through, like, because of the fact that you don't have a chance to wait for your fairy to come back until you get to the very end of the slamming door section. But I can, like, get around it entirely by, like, climbing the walls. You'll see. It's like the only part, really, that I really choose to skip this section. Wait, maybe I should talk to Demon King. I've done it before, but that was off stream, so for y'all's enjoyment. Maybe I should have been talking to these characters. I don't know. I mean, I've done it before. It's not like I've been skipping dialogue. Like, I don't know how to say it. So, I'm in a portal made by a weird dude in a well. You're currently fighting a jester to get your powers back. Did I get that right? Pretty much. Dang, how do you always get yourself in these situations, Beebs? Usually because some random guy suddenly starts beef with me. Know what I mean? Fair enough, I guess. Oh, that callback. That callback to fair enough. From earlier in the stream, I mean, not anything to do with Demon Turf. Thank you, Faybot. Decided to look up words that rhyme with Magma. So you could be Magma whatever when you complete the tower. Magma the gunnery? No! I don't think that rhymes. Also, I think I can't change my Steam name without... Well, I was gonna say I can't change my Steam name without closing the game. That's probably not true. If I change my Steam name, would that go into effect in the game? Or would I have to restart the game for it to know that I changed my name? I feel like I would have to restart. But yeah, for those who didn't hear, when I beat the tower off stream, I recorded it and put the recordings on YouTube, but I wanted to stream beating it because of how far I came from that first stream attempt. But when I beat the tower, our Steam name was Skitter the Critter, and it credits you to your Steam name, so it made it look like Skitter beat the tower. And I think Skitter, or like, it wasn't Skitter. I think I had like a time of about an hour, 27 minutes. So I'm kinda trying to beat that so I can be the better time between the two, but I don't know if I'm gonna beat that. I feel like I waited too many times for the fairy to respawn to beat it, but who knows? What? Oh wait, this, I said that this... Never mind. I said that this level, this floor started with the worst part. It did not. That's a different floor. I think that might be the next one. I just... fuck. I just remembered that it was the early 40s. I think it might be 43, actually. Is the genus of 12 nose species of caduceus trees called... What? Is that a word? I mean, I'm assuming it's a word. You probably looked it up. For the whole rhyme thing. Wait. I think I'm supposed to go over here. And then pull this. Woohoo! Oh, this is the one with the frickin' slappy doors. So I just like run around the outside and skip it. Happy birthday, Magma. We hope that you had a party when one could brag about. Reduced to a mere sandwich. Wait, I know that I can get up here, but I'm trying to remember how I did it before. I know I can, because I've done it so many times. Maybe it has to do with the glide. No. There's some move that I did to get to the top. I can't remember. Fuck. I don't think it's just jumping. Unless it is, but I don't think so. Oh, it's like jumping all 3 times and then glide. I think. Yeah. Almost. Ugh. Not complaining about the joke, I helped start it, yeah. Okay. Being shot out of a fucking cannon. That scared me. Why did that seem louder than normal? Baby's growing stronger. I tried to make some Magma rhymes, but you read the A differently than me. About? About. Oh. Oh fuck. I forgot that that was red up there. There we go. Oh! I didn't know it was gonna be red up there. I think I'm gonna, yeah. Aha! I did it. I just gotta wait 5 minutes. Oh, I should wait here, because I think that thing was about to slap me. I gotta read the thing again. Hope you had a party one could brag about. I think I'm not doing as good as the attempt, the time that I beat the tower the first time, but I feel like I'm doing pretty good for not having played it in like a month. I only got five floors left. I feel like this is a song we've been meaning, quote unquote, meaning to be added to the playlist, but it was already here the whole time. It's funny. I'm also curious how many people have beat it, because I think when I beat it, it was like 27 or something like that. I'm curious how big the number is at this point. I still think it's funny how one time how I got the glitch on floor 50. If you go back through the door, it used to take you to the very beginning. And I tweeted the creator, I was like, is this a bug or a feature? And they're like, bug! Huge bug! They already knew about it, we're fixing it, but it's so funny that it happened to me. I was like really mad at the time, but also it's like, even though I had to start all the way over, I still take all the muscle memory with me, so I think the next time I tried it was the time I beat it, after that happened. Like trying to think of, okay, I was gonna say I'm trying to think of things to talk about so it's not so boring. I guess the music helps. Thank you, Skitter. Like, I'm entertained because I'm working on a plush commission, but I need to be like a good streamer. Oh. Ah! Fuck! No! Ah, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. That's not that far of a fall. Oh, but I hate this part. I'm bad at, like, figuring out the timing on this. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, you just gotta jump. And then do it. Okay. Okay. It is funny, I can imagine thinking you've won and suddenly not. Yeah. I should go back in with a button that says turn on press. They invented a new type of cube just for this floor. Final challenge is a button that says you're not allowed to press the button. I did that way too early. I gotta wait for it to come around. Okay. Okay. 2 more, baby. Yeah, this, I hate this part right here, getting up there. You have to like... There we go. That was easier than I remember, but it can be easy to fuck up. We're almost there, baby! It is floor 49. That's why I said we're almost there. Now it's floor 50. I feel like floor 50 is actually really easy. Ah! Now here's the fun part where you gotta go all the way down. Honestly, I'm laughing, but actually, I'm annoyed. You weren't supposed to get up here. I've got nothing up my sleeves. I don't even have arms. Psych! I do have arms. I think I made that joke last time, sorry. But you cannot run this bomb. I gotta climb back down before this explodes now, huh? Yep. Honestly, I expected a bit more of a reaction. Here we go. Skydiving off of a tower. And then the Ziz music playing, that's so good because of how Zizkin's Phantomkin's Ziz and, well, Phantom is fictive Ziz. Phantomkin's Jester is what I meant to say. I don't know if we ever added that to the list though. I wonder how many people, like, made it to the top, but then died on their way down. I feel- whoops. No! Beebs, get up! We gotta get falling! I was gonna say, I feel like it's pretty easy to make it to the bottom, but there's definitely a non-zero chance that people have died on the way down. I think I'm a lot slower this way. I think I need to land and... yeah. Beebs, hurry! You're almost there! Woohoo! Ah! I forgot to leave myself am I an idiot? Sorry, I forgot. They just explode like that. The critter who wins the battle. Woohoo. First try. Tonight, anyway. How did I fall 62 floors? Like, that probably counts the 50 that you fall at the end. I don't feel like I fell 12 floors until I got to the top, but maybe it did. Thank you.
Call this a challenge?
Where's the leaderboard thing? I think it's... is it this? I'm number 44. Is Skitter higher than me? Man, a lot more people did it. 67. Magma from Zephyr together. Oh. An hour 25? Maybe I did beat Skitter. I mean, it was me, but I had Skitter's name. No. Where's... or, oh, maybe when you, I bet what happens is that it replaces your, I think it replaces whatever, if that makes sense. Like, I think just now I took longer than an hour 25, but that's the time that we had before, but it like updated with my current Steam name. That's good enough victory. I mean, I really just wanted to beat it on stream, but I also wanted to change the name. So I got to do both of those things. I hope me going through the tower, now that I have gained all the muscle memory I need to beat it. I hope anybody who is considering doing the tower now feels like they can, or whatever the shit. Woohoo. Whoa, that burst of audio. Good night, Noelle. I'm actually just wrapping up stream. Because I did it. I fucking did it. Woohoo! I think that went pretty good. I wasn't sure how long that was gonna take. If I figured it would be doable. Magma 1, Jester 0. Technically, Magma 2, because I beat it before. But yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna raid Fuki's playing Mario Kart. My next stream will be a week from Tuesday. With Half-Life Alex, but the Gnome is self-aware watch party, and I'll probably play more Madness Project Nexus that night. I'll go over our stream schedule for the week. We just decided it like today because they gave us our work schedule so late. Tomorrow night, Q is playing more Splatoon 2, the Octo Pass. Tuesday night, Magenta is coming back to play more Freedom Planet 2. What's her name? The panda. Nira's story. Wednesday night, Chalky's playing Poppin' Music Kaime Riddles and might play a little more Brawl Stars. Almost definitely we'll play more Cookie Run Kingdom. And then Sunday is Meadow playing more Pokemon Violet. glad I caught some stream. It was really fun hanging out. Oh, I'm glad it was fun. It was fun proving myself. I'm really glad I streamed the tower again. So, this means I am officially done with all Demon Turf streams, but there is Demon Turf Neon Splash that I eventually want to play. I'm glad you guys had fun. I hope you enjoy the reading that I did for like the first hour. I only read 2 posts we made and it took almost an hour. I can't imagine typing that much. Typing a post for, it said in the tags we said that it took 5 hours. I can't imagine writing that much anymore. Why were we in a point or a place or whatever where we felt like we had to write every detail? But I'm glad we did, because it brought a lot of memories back that I forgot, like details about that whole experience. But anyway, I'm reading Fuki, and also I'll be joining the Sonic Watch Party over there. And also, if you didn't know, we will be out of town. We will be leaving a week from Wednesday for like, we'll be gone for like a week. So our following week, we're just, like this coming week, we're streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday. But the week after that, we're just streaming Monday and Tuesday. And then we'll be gone for like a week. Then we might stream on like the Thursday we come back or something. We haven't exactly decided that. But yeah. Have fun with Fuki if you have fun with Fuki or bed or work or wherever you gotta go. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.